Alright my friends, how you all doing? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a fresh episode of our Planet Zoo series, Jamii Conservation Park. Our community build continues to grow stronger, my friends. First and foremost, apologies for this not going out on its usual time slot of Sunday afternoon. I had a few problems basically with the build. I was on the verge of finishing up the bit I needed to do and noticed that a few bits had deleted for absolutely no reason. They were there minutes before, and then when I turned around they'd disappeared, and yeah, I had a bit of a mini meltdown. I thought I was gonna have to rebuild it all, but I slept on it and then managed to sort it out pretty quickly. So that's how I've managed to get today's episode out to you as soon as I have. So yeah, apologies for the delay, my friends, but we are here now. We're going to crack on with some more JCP. We had a week full of streaming last week. I hope that a few of you have gone back and watched the streams. It gives you a little bit of a sneak peek into what we're going to be doing today, and obviously last week's episode is linked above for you if you missed it, my friends. We did the Lima Island last time out. It was a huge success, according to the comment section. You all really seem to like that build, and we're going to get into some more building today. We're obviously going to find out your voting, what you've chosen, what zone we're going to unlock and all that good stuff, and we're going to talk about the project that I set to do and then show you the finished product, my friends. So first and foremost, let's get into that moment. Let's find out the zone that you chose. Now, the deciding vote this week actually came down to yours truly. It was that close that I had to decide which area we were going to go with. Obviously you were given zones A, B, C, D and E, and this is how it tallied up. Zone A got 8 votes, Zone B got 6 votes, Zone C got 1 vote, Zone D didn't get any, and Zone E got 8 votes. So A and E both got 8 votes. Yours truly got the deciding vote, and if you watch the streams you will know that I went with Zone E. The big reason for going with Zone E was it just made a bit more sense based on what people were saying. There was no direct pathway to Zone A, so we would have started a load of work in Zone A, but our guests wouldn't have been able to get there. So instead I took on Zone E, so that as and when we want to tackle Zone A, we now have a direct path into that area of the zoo. So yeah, that's the first thing. Second thing is I did set a like target on the last episode as well. Hit 50 likes and we get to unlock another square as well. You absolutely smashed it. I think it was something like 58 likes in the end, which is absolutely amazing. And yeah, we're gonna unlock a square of my choice, and obviously I'm going to build some stuff in there because there was stuff that needed to be doing, but there is still some space, and obviously when we get to the build section I can throw it out to you guys to then start getting your suggestions in how we fill the space. So yeah, I guess without further ado, really, we should just unlock these zones. I am going to continue to do the like target each and every week, ladies and gents. It was a huge success, and you guys really seem to quite like the fact that there's more squares up for offer in the zoo, based on the fact that if you continue to keep liking these videos, and what you guys might not realize is by liking the videos you help me basically get seen by more people, and that's really important at the moment for the channel. It's growing massively, the community's there, you're all being absolutely unbelievable, and I'm absolutely loving it. So that's Zone E, ladies and gents, unlocked. That's the one I chose based off your votes, and we're going to be building in that today. Obviously we are going to go through the comments in a moment to see potentially exactly what we are going to be building and what you guys have been thinking between last episode and this one. And what I am going to do with my square vote is I'm going to unlock this square here. Big reason for that is guest services is a massive thing that's been on the agenda, and I think if we unlock this square we can get guest services in, and we can deal with this little section here as well, which a few of you guys did comment on in the comment section from last episode. So let's do that as well. Let's get this square as well. It'll be fan dabby does, because we can get more work done in the zoo, we can get more stuff, and it does mean, ladies and gents, that you're in for an absolute bumper episode today. Obviously majority of you would have seen the title of today's episode, and so you can put 2 and 2 together, but I do a hell of a lot of work between the 2 episodes, and it's all because of the fantastic streams that we had and the fact that you guys liked the videos and voted for Zone E. So that's that, ladies and gents. As a result of voting for Zone E, that was only 2 squares, wasn't it? So it means that we are going to skip forward 5 years, ladies and gents. So what I am going to do from a distance, I'm just going to hit this play button, and then we are going to start going through the comments that you guys have been leaving. Now, once again, the comment section was inundated with amazing ideas, amazing feedback, and I can't include them all. What I'm going to do from now on, because honestly, this is such a popular series on the channel, is I'm just going to include a number of comments that I really enjoy from each week, rather than trying to do them all. 2 episodes ago we had 60 plus comments. This week was another heavy one. I think it was in the high 40s, so obviously I can't put that many comments in an episode, so I'm sure you will all understand. We need to get to the year 74 February. I'm just going to leave it playing in the background, and then with the magic of editing we'll sort that out at the end, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to press that as well, so that we don't have to worry about all of the notifications popping off in the background. So let's get cracking. Let's read your comments. First one this week comes in from Jacoby Gerarda, and they've said, another amazing episode. I think we should go to Zone C, really cap off the Rectarian before we move to new projects. Lemur House looks great, but I think the tortoise would be a little out of place. Instead, maybe putting in an implied exhibit with a smaller monkey species like marmosets would really help fill the area more, and like there are more animals than are in the game. Also, I feel Nightclive and some of the others that have been super active since the beginning of the series should have like buildings or exhibits named after them, kind of like they were sponsoring the animals or something. Keep up the good work. Apologies if there's a weird little cut in there, ladies and gents. Something was vibrating in the office and I couldn't work it out, and basically a little charger had fallen down the back of the computer and it was making a horrible noise, and I'm sure the microphone was going to pick it up. But yeah, off the back of Jacoby's comment, some really nice comments there, and I do like the fact that he's recognising that people like Nightclive and others are super active in the comments and even in the live streams as well, and they maybe deserve other buildings named after them. Now, I do plan on naming the majority of the major buildings after people in the zoo. I'm not going to name the Lemur House after Nightclive. I have one in mind that I want to name after Nightclive, just basically based on his name. That might give it away a little bit, but yeah, I'm not sure about the Lemur House. I might just leave this as Lemur Island and save that house, but there's going to be plenty of buildings around the zoo that are going to be named after my famous commenters to the channel. Next comment comes from Alexis Doris. Tough call this episode. I still think it's early for the tropical house. We don't even have a path heading up that way, so I don't think we should do that yet. Aside from that, though, I think I'll cast my vote towards Zone B. If we don't do it now, it will never get done because there's other more exciting things to choose from. So I'm playing practical this time around. Yeah, I totally kind of understand that. Unfortunately, stuff like the backstage buildings, staff buildings, that are never going to be more popular than potentially placing a new animal in the zoo. That is just the nature of the beast, unfortunately, isn't it? But yeah, it's nice to see you vote that way, and lucky enough, because of how many people voted, we've still opened up an area to do the guest services, and I believe you was actually in the stream, Alexis, anyway, and you got to see that get started. Nightclive is the next comment, and he's put, I like to move in. Prince Fabian, heir of the famous and notorious King Julian of Madagascar, and his entourage take quarter at JCP. More on page 5 of the Daily Dodo. I'm going to mock up a Daily Dodo paper, by the way, and that's going to be part of a big episode when this series maybe comes towards its finale, which is a long way off, but I like the Daily Dodo, I really do. And yeah, Nightclive was clearly very excited about the lemurs making their way into the zoo. He continued with, I'm once again blown away, especially by the education wall, and for the first time in a very long time have nothing to add except the name suggestion above. I think it's time to get the Rainforest House started, and therefore vote A. Keep on and all the best to Emily. Nightclive, thank you, buddy, for the kind messages to Emily, and I will be sure in the live section of today's episode to get the Mao ringtail lemur named after King Julian. Next up is a Primal Gamer, and they've said the final result of the Islander building looks great. I know that the popular choice is going to be Section A, but personally I think E should be the next place we go, because we don't have a pathway to Section A, and I think Section E would be a decent space for another smaller animal, like possibly the Chinese pangolin. Other than that, I think it was well done. This is the reason why I picked E. was, like I've already said, a lot of people were recognising that there was actually no clear path up to the squares where the tropical house are going to be. But fantastic comment once again. Chewy Gaming is next. Amazing work, Dan. The lemur house looks awesome. Really like the green colour and the climbing structures for the lemurs as well. I would go with Zone E because I think that it's a better to finish the checkpoint area. The Gemsbok enclosure would fit perfectly because both the camels and Gemsbok are from the desert, and if the empty area isn't big enough for them, you could use a little bit of Zone E for them and do the viewing area for the Lemur Island as well. By the way, I don't want to nag or anything, but when are you going to add some names to the conservation wall? All in all, the zoo looks amazing, and so does the lemur enclosure. Now, I did sort of promise that that wall would be ready for this episode. Unfortunately, it isn't because of the problems that I run into with the build. But what I am going to do is, in Tuesday's stream, I am going to do the Conservation Club wall, basically, ladies and gents. What I'm going to do is give you 24 hours, basically, to get your zone choices in from now on, because I really want to remain active streaming this series. So on Tuesday's stream, I'm going to have all the names ready, and I'm going to place them on the wall with you guys so you can see exactly who has made it to the illustrious wall. But you know, I never take it as nagging, Chewy. To be honest with you, it's something I keep putting off, and I really shouldn't, because without you guys the series wouldn't be what it is. John McLaughlin is the next comment. Dan, Lemur Island is simply brilliant. This is one of the best builds I've ever seen done for the game, and I would bet many actual zoos would be envious of this enclosure. I thank you, my friend. I really appreciate that. Well done. The mural was a fantastic touch, as is moving the tortoise babies. My local zoo does a similar thing for them. I will send a picture in the Discord of their little hard shelter. I'm going to vote Zone B. I like the flow of building and exhibit and staff building. I would love to see what you could do with an education centre for JCP. News on the education centre, I'm going to name that after my daughter Emily. Basically, my wife thinks we should call it Emily, the Emily Education Society, or something along those lines. My wife's been getting really involved in the series, which is great. The zoo's moving along fantastically well done. PS, just an idea, I'd love to see a cinematic episode featuring all the animals and buildings. I think it would be a good way to cap off building a large part of the zoo every once in a while. I do plan on doing a cinematic, John, I really do. What I'm going to do is probably message you again with regards to, potentially either yourself doing the map, or if you don't have time, I'm going to do it. But basically, when I do the episode, I want to kind of like follow a map if we can. I'm going to do all the editing as if we're following the map, and then it will obviously go to each of the enclosures, and so on and so on. I've kind of got this idea I want to do the cinematic. It's going to take a bit of time to edit, and so that's why I'm kind of holding off on doing some of these big projects. I'd like to get a few more animals in the zoo basically before I do it, but yeah, I totally take that on board, and I do think it's something that we do need to do to showcase this zoo in all of its glory. Veganitis is next. The lemur habitat looks amazing. I'm so happy with how this zoo is coming along. I vote for Zone B as guest services are very important. It's long overdue. We should also bump ticket prices to 20 for adults, 17 for children. I have made a note of that. I'll do that in the live section. Also, I feel like we should work towards the factory soon, as that was the whole reason for the expansion. So either Zone A or the large square above Zone C would be perfect for a large building like it. That's all from me. Have a good one, Dan. Yep, appreciate the comment. And I do think we do eventually at some point in the next episode or two need to at least unlock potentially Zone A. We might not get that finished in like 1 week of streaming. I do think that's going to be a multiple week project because of the amount of animals that are going in the tropical house. But I guess once the square's unlocked, then the sky's the limit. But yeah, appreciate the comment. Simply Shandy is next up. Absolutely amazing. My local zoo had a lemur island. It was very basic. The build reminds me of it, and also blows it out of the park. Absolutely love the idea of hiding and incorporating the enrichment items into the climbing frame. As for the next zone, my vote is E. I think it makes sense to finish the boardwalk and segue into what would be Zone A and the tropical house. Also gives you a little extra room to make that much requested Gemsbok habitat across from the camels. As for the tropical house going into Zone A, I'm so starting to see and feel an indoor waterfall that leads to and supplies the water that surrounds the lemur island. I actually do like the idea of a waterfall on the outside of the tropical house. Potentially we could have a habitat that's quite high up in there. There's the sky's the limit basically where the tropical house is concerned. Sand and Elan is next up. Hi Dan, once again great build. Love to see the hexagon in a different place. After the stream I really thought the buildings would would end up like a hexagon, but I totally get the change. First of all, it has to be practical, then aesthetics come in. I have summed up my suggestions again. Basically, Sander really wanted the lemur house to be a hexagon, but it was virtually impossible to make it work. One, I vote for Zone E. As a few people have already said, there's no way for guests would be able to reach Zone A. 2, for Zone E, I would love to see the Gemsbok, but maybe you could combine them with the ostrich. Then we have all the birds covered. According to the game, they don't match up, but PlanetZoopedia.com found out they can be matched. Lovely stuff. I did take a look at those links and images, and I appreciate it, my friend. 3, I like the idea of the tortoise. Add them in right away, I would say. For a fence, you could use some very low but steep rocks. Maybe make sure you add a don't disturb sign for their comfort. 4, did you forget the boat for the keepers? How do they get to the island? It seems like you forgot to finish that. They can dock on the island, but where do they depart from? I didn't forget this, Sander. I'm not sure if I actually brought this up in the streams this week, but I didn't forget it. I've just not done it on purpose because to be honest, I think I need this space here to be able to put it in, and I'm really trying to think hard on how we can hide a dry dock potentially back here. It is going to be important, but it needs to be hidden because obviously this is potentially going to be guest facing here, so I've got to try and think of a clever way to disguise it basically. So I didn't forget it, I just didn't really feel it was necessary to put it in where with the space that we had. But if there's an area anyway that you think that it would fit, you can think of an idea to do it, and do feel free to send your ideas in. 5, maybe this suggestion comes out of the blue, but I like to think the JCP cares about the environment. Why not add some solar panels on top of buildings? I would use fake ones, otherwise the mechanics will have to work to do. Too much work to do. Get JCP eco-friendly. I do like the idea of the solar panels and and everything that sort of JCP stands for. They make sense to have in this project. So yeah, I like that a lot. Cam 1904. Hi Dan, great series so far. Managed to catch up with your videos before watching any live streams. Quite hard with a 6-month rolling around all day. As I wanted to know exactly what was planned before suggesting anything. That's fair enough, my friend. Really appreciate you taking the time to watch the series back. I vote for Zone B as it's an area I'm most excited for, as not many people implement these realistic venues that most zoos have nowadays. These buildings within Zone B should be very modern style wise. Guest parking is essential for these large venue buildings. One suggestion that kind of fits with the animal hospital idea is that some zoos have partnerships with local universities, colleges for their students to use the zoo's facilities in their training. Maybe as well as the animal hospital, put a research hub / centre near it for these pupils to use alongside professionals within the industry. I really like that actually. For law purposes, you could say that the zoo is offering internships and apprenticeships for aspiring veterinarians and keepers. Just a thought though, as I do realise they would be largely a wasted building as the game mechanics do not allow for that kind of thing. Now the thing with that is though, if it is one of those buildings that, we're not potentially going to be using all that much, then we can just build the outer skeleton of it and we don't need to do the interior. But, if we was to add sort of veterinary surgeries or research hubs to it, then we would obviously do it a bit more detailed. But I like the idea. I really do like the idea. It would become a much part of a much bigger sort of behind the scenes hub. As I said before, great series and looking forward to the next live stream / episode. And yeah, that's a really fantastic comment. I'm going to make a note of that so I don't forget it. I do like that a lot. And the last comment this week comes in from Berenzine, and they've said, that is an incredible habitat, Dan. Hope you don't mind me borrowing some of your design ideas for my own builds. Of course not. One of the big reasons why we do this, why I do it and why I share all my builds and stuff with you guys on here is because I want you to take some inspiration from it. I want you to pick a few bits from it, and if you learn something or if I help you learn something, then my job has been done. Nothing in my zoos there's nothing in my zoos you can't copy. I'm just going to throw that out there now. You do what you wish with it. Those wooden covers on the building look really cool as well as those different kinds of woods in the climbing structures, and the little black planks attached to the ropes. Brilliant stuff. You've really got an eye for those little details. I vote for Zone E in preparation for the tropical house. It looks like the continuation of the boardwalk is needed before we can really get to the tropical house. Potentially we could fill it up with something like a playground or a little park, as there would otherwise be a mass of animals clumped together on what is a main path. Yeah, I do completely agree with that. That could lead to a bit of congestion, although there is a boardwalk to help alleviate that, so it's not too big a deal if you decide to go another route. Another thing I'd really like to see there is the carousel idea that you had a while back, and basically Berenzine is talking about this big hunker space right here that we obviously unlocked in today's episode. Now what I'm going to do is, obviously, with the magic of editing, we're going to skip forward, to the 5th year of this little rundown, ladies and gents. We'll come back and I'll talk about exactly what I've got planned for today's episode. And so just like that, my friends, with the magic of editing, we have skipped forward to the year 74. I've actually come back about a month early, haven't I? I was supposed to come back in February, but it's all right. It doesn't matter. There's more than enough money in the bank for us to get kickstarted with these projects that we're going to do in today's episode. So I'm basically going to cover everything that I plan on doing in the build section. We have obviously got this huge area here. We're not going to use all of it. We've also got this area here that we know is going to be dedicated to an animal, and then but basically a lot changed during the course of the live stream, and so I'm going to tell you the plan of action, and then when we get to the build section you can soak it all up in all of its glory. Now obviously we did unlock this building because of the amount of likes that we got. I'm going to set a like target again in today's episode, but I'm probably going to do it a bit later on. I'll probably do it when we do the zoning part of today's episode. But yeah, we've unlocked this. So plans first is that we're going to put guest services in here. It's been a plan of ours for a long time to get the guest services in here, finish this front area off of our entrance and stuff, and I think that will really finish the front of the zoo off. This habitat here, obviously there were a couple of suggestions floating about, for knoll habitats and stuff like that. There are going to be some knoll habitats in the zoo, but I just didn't really want one here. I wanted to use this space wisely. A couple of people said they didn't really feel like the tortoise fit, but these are the lemurs from Madagascar. The tortoise species we're putting in here from Seychelles, so they're 2 islands off the coast of Africa. I do actually think they fit better than most people think, and this is just going to be a spring summer habitat for the Aldabra tortoises. It's not going to be too mad, and you're going to see when we get to the build section that it's a really low-key thing, and it actually finishes this area off nice. So we're going to get the tortoises done as well. Then we walk this way, and this is where the big part of today's episode comes in. Now during the course of the streams I decided to make a really important decision. As you all know, there's big talk about the Gemsbok being put over here in this space. This space actually isn't that big and isn't big enough, but I have my heart set on putting the Gemsbok in here. So what we're going to do is, instead of building another saltwater crocodile enclosure back here, I'm actually going to delete out Komodo Cafe, and we're going to extend our already existing saltwater habitat so we can have a male and female together. I thought it was a bit overkill having another saltwater, habitat. I think it was just something we really didn't need to do, and we can use this space more wisely. Our Gemsbok can go up into this area, and I think that just makes more sense. It does mean RIP, goodbye, Komodo Cafe, you have served us well. But zoos do this. They reimagine space, they reuse it for different purposes, and that's essentially what we're going to do. I'm going to save the blueprint of Komodo Cafe in case we want to use it later on down the line. But yeah, we're going to extend the saltwater crocodile area out here, and then I'm also going to do a seated area for our baby croc exhibit for when our zookeepers do their talks and stuff, and just basically evolve this area. It does mean we're going to be a restaurant short, and one of the big things I always wanted to do when we first started this new section of the zoo was build a restaurant, and so that's exactly what I'm going to do, and we're going to build it right on the cusp of our boardwalk that is going to continue this way, and it's going to look out onto the lemurs. I had numerous plans. I spent 3 hours building one, deleted it, hated it, but I finally found an idea that I liked, a restaurant that I like. I'm just hoping when we get to the build section, you're going to like it as much as I did. So without further ado, let's get to the build section. And so, ladies and gents, here we are in the build section of today's episode, and we got so much work done in those live streams, and I got a lot of work done off the live streams as well. Now, obviously, you're probably looking at the screen and you can see guest services. You can see a big restaurant over in the distance. That's not where I'm going to start. I'm actually going to start over in the old part of the Reptarium. I'm going to show you the work that I did over there, then I'll bring you back over here and I'll show you the work that we've done. I'm sure you can all appreciate, though, this area is starting to look stunning. It really is starting to look absolutely amazing, and that restaurant really just finishes the area off so nice. You're going to see there is some space in behind some of these buildings. I didn't fill the spaces because I didn't feel necessary. I didn't have ideas for them, and obviously when we get to the live section I'm going to ask for your feedback and ideas on what we should be doing with those spaces. So first things first, this area isn't 100% complete. I actually still think this needs something, but this is the brand new part of the Baby Croc exhibit, and you can see there's so much space in there. It just opens it right up. I extended this little part here, this little flower bed. We've got some trees and stuff in there, just opened it up a little bit. Got some trees here too. I made these little snack carts, and I think these are a real nice touch. So I've made these. This is just a little space filler. Obviously they don't work, but I really went in. I made sure it was like a proper sort of like freezer area and everything. Storage on the back with all the doors and whatnot. Really highly detailed pieces. But yeah, we got these little snack carts now, and over here is a little seated area, and obviously wheelchair access at the top, so that when our zookeepers are doing their talks on the baby crocodiles, you can take your seat and you can listen in. One of the plans I do have that I haven't done yet is that I am going to write maybe the schedule. I look a little board here, when the feeding times are, when the educational times are, and all that sort of stuff. I'll bring you around the back here. We've actually got proper access for our salties to be taken out of the exhibit now. We never really had this before, but we've got a proper gate here, and you go on up, and we've got a proper gate into the exhibit. And as you can see, we've opened this right up. I've extended the pool around this way. We've opened it up a bit more. I've made the door bigger. We've got to get the male saltwater croc in here still. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it in the live section of today's episode, mainly because there's not many good ones available for us to get at the minute. So what I might do is, if you want to attend Tuesday's stream, you'll be able to see me welcome our brand new male salty to our exhibit. I need to open this up a little bit as well. The male saltwater croc is so much bigger than the female that this really needed editing big time to be able to make it work for the male salty. So that's all new. It might not look much different right now, but trust me, go back and find another episode, look at Komodo Cafe, and take a look at how much smaller this was. So yeah, we've done that bit of editing there, and that's basically because we needed to free this space up for our beautiful Gemsbok that will hopefully make an appearance in the zoo real soon. I've just matched this planter up this side. I'm trying to keep this really symmetrical here. Really going to go really dense with all of the vegetation and stuff, but it is slowly getting there. Let me take you back to the beginning then, and let's take a look at guest services, ladies and gents. Now, I really went in on this. I really probably went a bit overboard actually, but it's everything that I imagined it would be. This is guest services. This is where you can hire buggies, wheelchairs, lockers, all that good stuff, and it's a really beautiful build. We've got our buggies over this side, as you can see, loads underneath here. We just made these little canopies off the side, and I wanted them to match the roof essentially. It's a really nice looking building, but yeah, we come this side, and you've got your wheelchairs here, and you've got your lockers back here, little seated area just in case you want to take a pew while you're sorting yourself out in your locker. And this is a nice little statue. I put this little plaque here dedicated to like a former employee or something along those lines. You can make up whatever narrative you wish for this, and then we walk inside guest services, and this is the interior, ladies and gents. I am absolutely just blown away at this building. I really like this building. It didn't actually take too long in the stream because we had the pieces already built. It went together quite nicely, but I'm in love with this. It's a really low-key interior. It needed to be done. We needed to have something special because of the glass on the windows and whatnot. We got these little flyers on the sides, little shelf over here, and we got this beautiful sort of desk that our staff stand behind and wait for the guests to come in. I still think we need one more thing, maybe like a little sort of thing on the wall, maybe some listings of stuff. Also, we've got a bit of planting, and we've put a toilet in here as well. You can never have enough toilets in the zoo, that is for sure. So that is guest services, ladies and gents. Do let me know what you make of it in the comment section below. Obviously, I really wanted it to match. Up with what we've already got, and I think I achieved that. Walk this way, we've got another one of those snack carts. Sandbox, ladies and gents. We've got a little ice cream one here. These are just nice little place fillers. I built these in one of the streams. It was they took a lot longer to build than you would probably imagine, but they're very highly detailed pieces. And yeah, we just got another one in there. And like I say, they're really nice place fillers. Something else as well to bring to your attention, I made these little fake rides. I don't know if you get these all over the world, but in the UK, these are really popular outside your off licenses and stuff like that. You essentially put a coin in, kid sits on, and it rocks backwards and forwards. And so, yeah, I decided to make that as well. Little placeholder, another thing to make, take up some space. We got another one over this side as well. It's just like loads of stuff just to bring a bit more realism and just fill some of the space up. We do return to Lemur Island, ladies and gents, mainly because we're going to take a look at the baby Aldabra tortoise habitat. But you will see I've slowly been putting this fencing in, started doing the planting. I haven't finished it, but started doing it. Another little plaque, a bit of education about the planting and the gardens, basically, more than the animals. But yeah, we're going to have our baby Aldabra tortoises in here. This is going to be their spring summer habitat. And like I say, it was just a bit more low key. We've just, heavy on the foliage at the back, so they've got a lot of shelter, a little lean-to, and just the gate there. But yeah, nothing too extreme. It was just, we just wanted to get this into the zoo as a little sort of like safe haven for our baby Aldabras in those warmer months of the year. And like I say, if you really look at that area now, it finishes it off really beautifully, doesn't it? But I guess I should take you to the main part of today's episode, and I think you're all going to be really excited about this. This is the Lookout Cafe, ladies and gents. That's what I've called it. I've come up with a name for it, just because it looks out on our lemurs, and there's nothing more I can say. Dan, this is probably one of the proudest. This is one of the builds I'm most proud of, just because. I tried different stuff. I tried different colours, tried different panels, different roof styles, and it evolved into this just stunning restaurant. So basically, the way this works, there's multiple levels now. So, people are always telling me, Dan, the world isn't flat. You really need to bring some different levels to the game. And that's what I'm trying to do. We've obviously got steps down to here, steps down here, little wheelchair access, steps up. We've obviously got steps up there. Put some planting in. I've put this like little weird sort of like lean-to cover on the side. I just feel like it just added another dimension to the build, but it's a nice little cover there. We've got a little entrance sign telling you that it's this way into the restaurant. But yeah, this is the front. Ladies and gents. So the way I've planned this is I've done all glass so that even if you are sitting in, you can look out onto the beautiful lake and the Lemur Island. But we've also got some tables on the outside, so should you wish to sit outside and look out onto the lemurs, you can as well. The way I've done this piece is it's glass with these wooden planks, so nice natural light getting through. Really nice place to sit during the summer. I really like the signage on this as well. I just used the lemurs and I've made it look as if they're hiding behind the plants and being cheeky, like they are basically. And so yeah, I just really like the front of the building. If you want to take a look at it from the top, just so you can see what I've done with the roof, I've done some solar paneling on this section, obviously some aircon and bits and bobs. But yeah, I've basically built the roof so that it was actually built as if these bits were supposed to go in there. I've put a door here as well. I kind of done it so that there would be a ladder inside, so that they could walk up the ladder to get up onto the roof when they needed to do maintenance and stuff like that. I've seen buildings do that, and I'll show you the back of the building before I take you inside. And yeah, essentially this is the back, ladies and gents. So what I did was this wooden design. I done the brown on the front, and then I decided to go with this wooden design on the back with white underneath. So it kind of gives the illusion that it is still that colour, but it's just a different style of doing it. I put this bit on the back. This is like, if you go inside it, there's nothing there, but it's essentially like the staff quarters, how they get into the food section. And we obviously put this back here with a bin and stuff like that. So this is just this is going to be our staff sort of like service area essentially. And one of the ways that's how the way the staff would get in. Again, aircon. solars, and then more aircon on the other side. And this bit here is just a nice piece off, just to give the building a bit more character, so it didn't appear too blocky at the back. And this little bit here is actually where the toilets are housed. But if I take you around the front now, I'll take you in to the restaurant, ladies and gents, so you can see the indoors in all of its glory. As you can see, we've done a bit of planting out here. I still feel like it potentially needs a bit more on here, but I think when we extend this path around the lake, we'll be able to add a bit more. We just couldn't at the moment. So I'll take you inside, and this is the restaurant, ladies and gents. So we'll start at the back so I can show you the seated area. We've got these little desks, these little tabletops with the bins and obviously your condiments and stuff. More planting. There's the toilets, as I said. The way I've done the roof in here, you've got the higher points where the doors are and the low section in the middle. I tried to do something a bit different with the lights as well, just to bring a bit more character to those. And then I did these custom-made seat covers that go over the top of the actual benches, so our guests will actually be able to sit at these inside the restaurant. They will even be able to sit at this one. Essentially what it is there's a bench there, and a bench at the back, so it will look as though they're sitting around this bigger table. The interior on this building did take a little while, but I think we can all agree was well worth it. I am contemplating putting a different floor down in here, because this obviously does match the one on the boardwalk, but we'll wait and see, because I do actually quite like the lighter wood tones in here in this build, but I am thinking about potentially changing that up. And so we walk up towards the area where our guests would get their food, ladies and gents. You met with this lovely sort of wooden design, archway design, and then you walk in. There is something that I have actually forgot to put in here that I'm going to put in at a later date, and it is of course the menus at the top. But this is where you pick your food up, and I absolutely loved doing this. I'm going to be honest, I watched someone build this, and I basically then went and sort of built my own version of it. This is amazing though, isn't it? The drink machine really sets the area off, and we've gone with this beautiful colouring all throughout at the bottom. Over here there's 3 tones, so you've got this tone, a grey tone, a white tone. I just was trying different stuff with the way the colours work in the restaurant, and I feel like it's really come together. The shops have been heavily edited to look really unique. There is a door on this one, so that's obviously to that area outside, and we just need a few more little details to be added in here, and I think it will really finish it off. I just run out of time basically, and I couldn't get it done, but I think we can all agree it's a pretty nice restaurant, isn't it? The bins here again, and by the way, there are actually bins hidden in this. That's why I've done this way. So it's just hidden everything in here, and it's just a bit more of a professional way, in my opinion, of potentially doing the interiors of the restaurant. I've been saying for a long time I wanted to get better at interiors, and I think this is one of the finest interiors that I've done to date. And I really, ladies and gents, hope you like the restaurant, and I hope you like the way that it sits and it looks out onto the lemurs. Imagine sitting here having your lunch and watching all the lemurs jump about and stuff like that. It's just a really nice really nice way it's come together. Obviously we're going to continue the planting of this way as and when we unlock sections, but it's looking good, isn't it, ladies and gents? And it looks as though we're about to get our first customers at the Lookout Cafe. But I'm happy with it. Hope you're happy with it. Let me know what you make of the new restaurant in the comment section below. Right, so next up, it's zoning time, ladies and gents. This is the exciting part, because obviously this is the bit where you get to vote on which zone you would like to see unlocked in the zoo next. We're going to have 4 zones this time. I didn't really have any ideas of where a 5th or 6th zone could go, so I've made extensions on 2 of the zones that we've got already, and then kept 2 of the others and made one slightly smaller because we've already unlocked a square for it. But what I do need to say is, obviously you'll see on your screen now, this is how this new section works. You get to pick a zone every time, and then depending on the zone, depends on the amount of years basically that we move forward. So without further ado, Zone A, ladies and gents, is the same as it was last time out. That's going to be for the tropical house and to open up the waterways a little bit in that area. Like I said in today's episode, the Tropical House is going to be a multiple week build. I doubt that if we was to unlock Zone A this week, that build would be finished before we was to unlock a new zone. So do keep that in mind. That's going to be such a big build, but that is going to be the Tropical House. I've got so many different ideas for it that I need to really pinpoint the ideas and get the main ideas down on paper, and maybe even start sketching this out, because I think it's going to be a very highly detailed and complete a very difficult build to get right. But I'm really excited though to do it as and when we get to it. Zone B is sort of as of where it was, ladies and gents. You're going to see it is slightly smaller now. That's still going to be sort of like the services in the background. It's still going to be, that's going to be more like function area now, because we've got the guest services. It's going to be more the function suites and that sort of stuff, and an extension on some of our staff area, potentially staff roads, some staff parking areas to park our vehicles, things like that. But yeah, it's essentially what it was. Zone C is going to be next on your screen. You're going to see that Zone C has been extended on what it was before. The big reason for this is I'm just trying to basically square off that area, and that's essentially the plan where that's concerned. I just wanted to get a bit more unlocked. It doesn't mean that the timescale is going to be any different, really, that we move forward in time if we was to unlock it. But as you all know now, with Zone C, the big plan for that is just to unlock the two rectangles next to the area we're going to put the Gems block, so that we can get them in the zoo and we can really get another animal in. We just need that space to be opened up, and I really need that space to really start planning out sort of like backstage areas for our staff and getting roadmaps and stuff like that planned for the zoo. And then Zone D is as it was. It's going to be the second reptile nursery and the little research centre, and that's again, there's going to unlock two more rectangles, which will probably just be more of an extension on that backlot area there. Again, need to get a staff road into that and need to start planning that out. So yeah, essentially, just to recap, Zone A, Tropical House as it was. Zone B is going to be function suites and some backstage stuff. Zone C is going to be to open up the area for the Gems block and start working on that area and thinking about what we're going to do next. And then Zone D is for the second nursery and the research centre. Also, as well as these zones, obviously you need to think about the area sort of to the west of the restaurant. There's a huge area there that we really need to start getting some ideas for and start getting some stuff planned in that. And then obviously there is an area just behind guest services that is empty as well, and we need to start thinking about what we are potentially going to be placing in that area as well. So do keep that in mind when you're leaving your comments this time around, and do be sure to let me know your ideas on what we should do with those areas. And like I always say, get your vote in on what zone you want to see unlock next. And so now it's a live section time, ladies and gents. We've got a little bit of work to do in today's episode. I think I've already started moving the majority of the animals about, but I am still going to double check that. First things first though, we need to up the ticket prices, because that's a big one. Just going to check this. Yep, it's the usual stuff. But yeah, we're going to up these ticket prices. We're going to go to 20 for adults, and we're going to go 17 for the kiddywinks, just because that's something that is being flagged up at the moment, and they probably still think it's a little underpriced. Actually, we could probably go up even further, which is crazy to me. Yeah, it's still saying that that's relatively expensive. So yeah, that's a little bit of a worry that we've still not gone up high enough. But I've put it up to the price that you said I should, so we'll leave that for now. The next thing I need to do is just check the animal trading and see if there are any saltwater crocodiles available that would be good enough for us to put in today's episode. If there's not, then I will not worry about it, and we will move on with other stuff. They're both female, and the males, as you can see, the fertility isn't very good. So you know what, I'm going to leave it. I'll get one done, and I'll introduce that crocodile to the zoo when we do our next live stream, which will be on Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. So next up, we need to name our male ringtail lemur, because that's what Mr. Nightclive has suggested. So let's get that done, shall we? Doopy-doo, got to find it. We've obviously got to do a lot of animal management as well. We've got lots of animals that need moving out. Lemur Island, there's lots of animals in boxes, so I need to take a look at that in a moment. But where is our Mal? This is the Mal, and we are going to name him Julian, after King Julian from the Madagascar movies. Let's... where are you? There we go. Unbox all animals. I don't know why they're all getting boxed up, to be honest with you, but we will unbox all those animals. So they are all alive and kicking and looking good. So King Julian has been renamed. So yeah, the next thing is that I need to make sure that all of our that some of our baby tortoises have been moved. We're not moving all of them. We are leaving some. We're just moving 4. This one's staying. And then we've obviously got our adults. That's our adult there. They're in the nursery room. So yeah, they are all being moved, which is good. The other thing I need to check is that the baby crocs have all been moved. They have, by the looks of things. That's very, very good. Right, now, let's sort our gear monsters out then. This one needs to go to the wild, and so does this one. So let's release those two to the wild. We get some conservation points for that. Then we're going to sort the froggies out. We obviously just keep 5 frogs behind. So it's usually the youngest ones that you can move on. So what we're looking at, 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, that's good. So let's release those guys to the wild. We're going to get 12 conservation points for that. And I think that's going to be it, to be honest with you, ladies and gents. I don't think we're going to have much more that we need to sort out. Obviously, our peacocks have bred again. Mr. Peabody is still going strong, everyone. Don't ask me how, but he is. The nursery is full for the Komodo dragons as well. And then we've got this guy at the bottom for some weird reason. He should be up with all the other lemurs, surely. Oh, there we go. Keep scrolling down, and you might see them all. They're all there, and then we've got our saltwater croc there. So that's pretty much that in the book. They're stressed. I need to start putting some don't disturb signs in around the zoo, because obviously we've got 2,000 guests in the zoo now, which is pretty crazy. I am thinking of setting a limit on the amount of guests that can come into the zoo, just because there's so many bodies about at the moment, and it's getting a little bit out of hand. So yeah, I am thinking about doing that. Let me know what you think of that. Now, as the rain comes down on Jamii Conservation Park, there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you guys about basically in today's episode. One of the big things is that of keeper specialisation. Now, in zoo, remember, we're going for a realistic build with this zoo, and in real life, zookeepers specialise with certain types of animal. You'll find that, you know, if people that work with the chimpanzees, they just work with the chimps, and so on and so on. And so we've obviously got our keepers, and you know, they're all training up pretty well. They're all as highly trained as they can be. But I'm starting to think that our zookeepers should be dedicated to certain animals. One of these guys does have a work zone. It's Erin, and she's dedicated to the Komodo dragons. She came with them. You will remember that was part of the narrative when we got our Komodos from Indonesia. And so, yeah, Erin is part of that. But I am starting to think that Darren and Mary Ellen should potentially be, you know, in charge of the old section of the zoo and not really have much to do with the new section. Dylan, the same, should be new and not old. And then, you know, Shelley, we don't know where she could be. But I think we really start need to like dedicating the zookeepers to certain breeds of animal. That would be what they specialise in. Let me know your thoughts on it, and then potentially we can start getting work zones in. For the rest of the staff as well, we do need to start putting some work zones into the zoo to make it more efficient, because as you can see, it's getting very large now. It's really starting to look like a big project and a big zoo now. It's really come together over the last couple of weeks especially, and it's really starting to look like something special. So work zones might be imperative very soon. So I want to get your feelings on that. I know I already mentioned it in the zoning, ladies and gents, but while we're here in the live section, please throw your suggestions in that comment section below what we do with this area. I don't, if we can help it, want to put another animal. I think that it would be overkill. You got to remember, we got peacocks here, we got our lemurs here, camels here, we got gemsbok going in here. I think maybe we need to start thinking about something potentially, something else going in potentially, if not all of that space, some of that space, and then we could even put, some null exhibits potentially. This pathway up here, just for those that didn't watch the streams, this is going to be going off into an African area. This way, obviously, we're going to be coming this way up to the tropical house. That's going to be very much like South American based, that tropical house, to the most extent. So obviously, we're going to be having that as well. So yeah, we've kind of starting to get these things in place that we know where certain regions and biomes are going to be coming into play. So yeah, do let me know your thoughts on all the stuff that I've mentioned, and obviously let me know what you've made of the builds as well, my friends. But yeah, it's time really to say goodbye on today's episode and do all the usual stuff that we need to do. I'll leave you with the lemurs this week, I think, to sign out today's episode. But yeah, my friends, I really hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Apologies once again that it was a day late. Remember to get in that comment section below your zone that you're voting for us to unlock next time with your reasons why, and also leave me your suggestions on what you think we should be doing with the spaces that we've got left. I would really appreciate that. Do you know what? I'm not going to look at the lemurs. I'm going to let you look at the shop being used in all of its glory. It's looking pretty decent. It really is. Obviously there's going to be a little bit of clipping. It's one of those things. But yeah, if you're new to the channel, my friends, do drop me a subscribe. Make sure you're liking this video as well. If we hit 60 likes this time, I'm going to up it by 10. If we hit 60 likes before next Sunday's episode, we will open a special square. If we do it before the streams, we get to open it in that, but if not, I will unlock it in next episode. So 60 likes is the one you've got to get to. Remember as well, if you are new, to check the description box. You'll find all the stuff, links to my Steam workshop, you'll find links to my socials and my Discord as well. And the Discord is something that I'm really starting to try and build and get a huge community going over there, so do check it out. But my friends, I am done and dusted. I am off. I wish you all a very good day, and until next time, see you all later.